While selling a gun, the man suddenly noticed that the buyer could load the weapon 3 seconds faster than he could, and he was an agent himself. He deliberately misaligned the scope, yet the buyer still hit the bullseye with precision. This made him realize the other person must be a professional assassin. But then, unexpectedly, the buyer handed him the sniper rifle and asked Mason to fire a shot next to him to test the suppressor's effectiveness. After testing the weapon, the buyer immediately paid Mason. However, Mason didn't hand over the gun. Instead, he claimed it needed further modifications and asked the buyer for 3 more days. The buyer agreed without suspicion. On his way back, Mason deliberately kicked and damaged his car's bumper, then drove it to a repair shop where he stole some parts he needed for his plan. Back home, Mason disassembled the stolen components and hammered them into the shapes he wanted. He then sectioned the steel pipe into segments and fitted them into a prepared casing. A custom sniper suppressor was complete. Next, he needed to build a suitable gun body. He purchased additional parts and assembled them into a weapon indistinguishable from an ordinary gun. But the most critical step was yet to come. Mason first polished the bullets smooth, then drilled a small hole in each tip and injected a few drops of toxic mercury inside. A lethal bullet was born. 3 days passed. The two met at a cafe, where Mason handed over the specially modified bullets. The transaction was successfully completed. The next day, he attended his girlfriend's celebration. What Mason didn't expect was that a sniper in the distance had already locked onto him. However, the moment the shooter pulled the trigger, the gun backfired. Mason rushed forward to check and discovered the assassin was the previous buyer. Fortunately, he had already tampered with that weapon. Meanwhile, another hitman was already following him from behind. As a top-tier assassin, his instincts had already alerted him. He turned and eliminated the threat. Mason immediately drove away. Suddenly, his vision blurred. He'd been hit in the abdomen during the firefight without realizing it. He slammed the steering wheel repeatedly, trying to stay conscious. Using his last ounce of strength, Mason drove toward Anna, who was waiting for him. Then his body collapsed uncontrollably. This thrilling film is called The American.